So in this video, I would like to introduce you one of our Power BI template, which is OMS orders template. This template is used for some further analysis. If you want to see some data about your orders, you find it here. Let's start from the top. We have three different slicers here. We have date slicer, we have slicer for business units, we have slicer which distinguish delivered orders and not delivered orders. Then we have a bunch of KPIs, some basics one like numbers of orders, numbers of delivered orders, delivery rate, average order value. Here this is the value for all orders in that data set, including the orders which were not delivered. So if you want to see, for example, just delivered, you just switch through and you see the difference. Then we have average order value of top 10 highest orders based on revenue. And the next one is number of negative orders. In some cases, e-shops have issue that they sell and they have zero profit basically. So in this case, 38 orders had gross profit lower than zero. So this shows us negative gross profit. Next KPI is just pure sum of net revenue, in this case 26 millions. And then we have a lot of different visuals here. So let's start with the first one. The first one is number of orders and delivery rate by date. So numbers of orders is represented by column chart and delivery rate by line chart. On x-axis we have dates, so it's based on days. The next visual is numbers of orders by weekday. So we have days from Monday to Sunday. In this case, we can see that Saturday is the worst day of the week. People don't buy much. Let's go to another one, which is the tree chart. In this tree chart, we show country code and numbers of orders. So as we can see, the Czech Republic is the biggest one. It has basically 8,400 orders. Then the next one is Slovakia and Poland. So basically three countries. We don't have more here. The next chart is again the column chart. It's numbers of orders by payment type. So easy chart. For example, we see that the most used payment type is cash on delivery. The last visual on this page is the table with order ID, net revenue, user ID, gross profit, and gross margin. Is ordered by the highest revenue. So these are the orders with the highest revenue. User ID and order ID is here because for some reason you can use it in your system for further analysis. So let's see the next page, which is sequence analysis. Sequence is basically metric which tells us how many times the customer has bought something from your e-shop. Let's say that order has sequence equal 5. That means it's the 5th order of the customer, of the user. So let's start what we have here. We have 3 different slicers, again, date, business, unit, sequence. So we have sequence from 1 to 49, which basically tells us that there is some user which has 49th order. Then we have some KPI. This is average time between orders. It's in this case 156 days. That means that time between orders is 156 days. Let's give an example. If I buy today, probably I would buy next order in 5 months. Then we have a lot of visuals here. Let's start with this one, which is number of orders by sequence. So as I said, sequence 1 is the first order of customers, of users. So it's the highest one and it goes lower and lower, which makes perfect sense. So in this case, we can say that most orders in our data set is made by first purchase. This diagram between, we have time between orders. On the x-axis, we have sequence. On the y-axis, we have average time. In these cases, we start with sequence 2. So to be more specific, in this case, the time between first and second order in average takes 230 hours. If we take a look lower, the time between second, basically between this and this, is lower. It's just 186 hours. So here, for example, we can see the trend that with each order, the higher the order is, the higher the sequence is, the lower the time. Unfortunately, here we see some lack of data. So it's good to take a look deeper, how many orders is there. As we can see, the size of bubble basically tells us how many orders is in each sequence. So here is the smallest one, which are not very representative. Okay, let's take on third one, which is average time between orders. Basically, this calculates time between orders in the set of time. This diagram, it's most useful if you take a look on the trend. You see that the trend, which is the dark line, is getting lower during the time, which is the good sign. That means with each day, or basically, let's say each month, the value is lower and lower, and customers buy more frequently. If you have some really high extremes, it's good to find the reason why and maybe try to eliminate it by some campaigns or some other processes. The last chart here is the average order value by sequence. Again, on x-axis we have sequence, and here we have average order value. So when we take a look on this, we see that the trend is basically very similar. We can probably say that the first order for customers is for 2,400, and the fifth is for 200, 700 almost. So there is a slight improvement. Again, here we have a lot of orders and sequences which are not very representative. So again, it's good if you take a look a little bit closer on this. And that's all for this part. I hope you liked it.